Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday, January 5th. Cold air poured into the mid-Atlantic region in the overnight hours, and it will remain well below normal right through the upcoming weekend. In fact, right through Monday of next week. Temperatures this weekend will very likely not even reach the freezing mark throughout the I-95 corridor region from D.C. to Philadelphia to New York City. And we have two separate low-pressure systems to deal with over the next few days. It looks like the first one will bring accumulating snow to the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City region from tonight into early Friday, and it looks like the second system, the weekend system, is likely to stay just to the south and east of the I-95 corridor region around here in the Mid-Atlantic region. Looks like that system will bring significant snowfall to portions of the southeastern U.S., the Carolinas, for example, into Georgia. Right now, we're on the northwest periphery of that precipitation field for the weekend event. It doesn't take much for a shift to the north and west to have a big impact here, so we'll, of course, continue to closely monitor it. But again, right now, odds favor that staying just to the south and east of us on Saturday. Well, let's begin by looking at the upper level pattern. This is always crucial whenever dealing with potential snow situations. We have two separate features seen right now at the 500 millibar level. These are upper level low pressure areas, or in the meteorology field referred to as vorticity maximums. One over the upper Midwest and the other now crashing into the west coast of the U.S. Not your classic orientations for snowstorms in the Mid-Atlantic region. Notice they're both oriented from almost west to east, but basically from northeast to southwest. And this one is really from east to west here. And that is not your classic positioning for upper level patterns to produce snowstorms in the northeastern U.S. This is the first upper level wave of energy that will set off the development of a mid-Atlantic low here and right in this region over the next 12 to 18 hours or so. And again, it looks quite certain that snow will accumulate in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City on the order of a coating to a couple of inches. Could be a little bit more than that, maybe 3 or 4 inches in portions of southern New Jersey, for example. The closer to the coast, the better for the chance of more accumulating snow with this particular system. This will set off another wave of heavy snows out in the interior western states and heavy rains in California, and come all the way across the country, and then set off the development of another storm system on Saturday in the same general region. But again, odds favor the bulk of that activity staying just to the south and east of the Mid-Atlantic I-95 corridor. We'll get into more details over the next several minutes. And here's a jump ahead of 48 hours later on Saturday morning, what the 0Z GFS model forecast at 500 millibars. And this is the reason the Saturday event looks like it'll stay just to the southeast of D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. The main wave of energy here does dive deep to the south, but it will look to hook up with the northern stream energy. And indeed, there is a significant wave of energy in the northern stream of the jet stream up here across south central Canada come Saturday morning, but they will not phase together. These two will not phase together until the storm system is a little bit too far off the east coast to give any kind of a significant snow impact here for the Mid-Atlantic region's I-95 corridor on Saturday. It's a close call, still has to be monitored. We've learned in the past several years that storms tend to shift a little bit to the north and west in certain weather patterns, and that could happen here, especially given warm ocean waters in the western Atlantic helps in some cases to push the system a little bit to the north and west of at least of what is currently projected right now. But again, accumulating snow tonight into early Friday from wave number 1. Wave number 2 looks like it'll stay just to the south and east of the D.C. to New York City corridor, producing significant snowfall in places like the Carolinas and Georgia. Well, let's now focus on wave number 1 here, and we do have an area of snow already seen on radar out here over the Ohio Valley. There are some echoes showing up here over the D.C. metropolitan region. It could be a few flakes during the next few hours, but for the most part, it looks like the snow arrives in D.C. during the mid to late afternoon hours. during the middle part of the evening in Philadelphia, maybe 8 or 9 p.m. or so, and then late evening across New York City, 10, 11 p.m. or so, and continues pretty much through the overnight hours. It will wind down in D.C. probably 5 or 6 a.m., in Philadelphia 7 or 8 a.m., and maybe by 9 a.m. across New York City. And again, the odds favor an accumulation of a coating to a couple of inches, maybe a little bit higher amounts in southern New Jersey, for example, interior southern New Jersey, where there could be some 3 or 4 inch totals by tomorrow morning. Certainly, roads can become slippery in the overnight hours and for the early part of the Friday morning commute. Well, let's walk through last night's 0Z GFS model run for this first event, and then we'll look at the Saturday system that, again, looks like to the southeast of here. This is the forecast map for early this afternoon. Some moisture already feeding into the D.C. metropolitan region. Again, there can be a few flakes in the air anytime over the next few hours, but more than likely the snow will develop during the mid to late afternoon hours, or at least start reaching the ground during the mid to late afternoon hours across the D.C. metro region. This area of moisture then continues to move to the north and east, again reaching Philadelphia during the middle part of the evening. Let's now jump ahead to the evening forecast map. And here we go. By early tonight, that precipitation area moving just now into southeastern Pennsylvania. Again, probably arriving in southeastern Pennsylvania, Philadelphia and its suburbs, 8 or 9 p.m. The evening commute is certainly looking like that should be okay here in southeastern Pennsylvania. One thing I might note here is the air is so cold that virtually no chance of anything but snow with this particular system. It looks like it'll be snow and no mixture with ice or rain anywhere around the D.C., Philadelphia, or New York City metro region. Well, let's jump ahead another 6 hours. This is now early in the morning, just after midnight, actually around 2 a.m. By this time, it's snowing all the way from D.C. to Philadelphia to New York City. Again, all in the form of snow around here. The air is so cold, not only in the lower atmosphere, but in the upper atmosphere as well. Low pressure intensifying off the mid-Atlantic coastline. It is a relatively quick mover to the north and east. And if we jump ahead another 6 hours, we'll see that the back end of the snow is already pushing into the I-95 corridor region. The snow will be winding down, again, probably by about 5 or 6 a.m. in D.C., maybe 7 or 8 a.m. in Philly, and about 9 a.m. or so in New York City. And here we go. By 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, low pressure a little bit deeper here now off the mid-Atlantic coastline. The back edge already pulling to the north and east. All of this moving in this direction here. And the early commute will certainly be affected in Philadelphia and New York City by the residual snowfall. But by the commute time in D.C., the snow is likely to be over. Certainly, again, there can be slippery road conditions in the overnight hours and into the early part of the Friday morning commute, and probably throughout the entire commute in New York City, as it won't end there until about 9 or 10 a.m. Well, now let's jump ahead to the Saturday threat. And again, odds favor it staying just to the south and east of the D.C. to New York City corridor. It's a close call and will still certainly have to be monitored over the next several hours. This is the forecast map for early Saturday morning. The first wave on out of here. Cold air still in place here throughout the northeastern part of the country. Notice the low pressure location way down off the southeast U.S. coastline, and the precipitation hanging well to the south and east of the D.C. metro region at this time, Philadelphia, New York City. Again, all of this is due to the fact that the upper level pattern is just not quite conducive for a major snowstorm in the northeastern part of the country. That wave in the southern U.S. will not phase together with the wave in the northern stream until the system is too far off the mid-Atlantic coastline to seriously affect the local region. We'll monitor it over the next several hours, see if there's any shift to the north and west. Sometimes that can happen, especially given very warm waters of the western Atlantic. Let's now jump ahead another 6 hours. And here we go. This is the forecast map for Saturday afternoon. Kind of a strung out area of low pressure off the mid-Atlantic coastline. In many ways, this has more potential for developing into a stronger system given the phasing together that will happen with the northern stream in the upper atmosphere and the southern stream. Compare all of that compared to the first system. However, it's a little bit too far off the coast to have any kind of an impact, it looks like right now, in D.C., Philadelphia, and New York City. Down in the Carolinas, southeastern Virginia, all the way into Georgia, significant snowfall. Several inches of snow could fall in places that aren't too used to it, from Atlanta to Raleigh, for example, and all the way into southeastern Virginia. This could very well be a news-making event over the weekend from this upcoming storm system. Finally, I have to show this in terms of news-making events. We will be hearing about the weather in California over the next several days. This is the precipitation totals forecast by NOAA for the next 7 days, and some of the figures out in California are just mind-boggling. This is actually a forecast of 28 inches of rain in this part of California over the next week. Just some incredible rainfall totals, and over the higher elevations of the Sierra Nevadas, right in this region right here, the eastern part of California, there could be 10 feet of snow in this particular pattern over the next several days. Of course, this will alleviate drought conditions out there, and the snowpack over the Sierra Nevadas is crucial to Southern California water supply, for example. Build up a good snowpack during the winter season, and that helps throughout the summer as the snowmelt contributes to the water supply in Southern California. So nothing but good news in terms of the California drought, but this will undoubtedly cause some problems, landslides, etc. Incredible amounts of precipitation in California over the next 7 days or so. So around here, accumulating snow from late today in D.C., tonight in Philadelphia, New York City, all the way into early tomorrow morning, on the order of a coating to a couple of inches or so, maybe a little bit more across southern New Jersey. Some roads will become slippery in the overnight hours and into the Friday morning commute. We'll continue to monitor the second system, the threat on Saturday. Right now, it looks like it stays just to the south and east of the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City metro regions. That's it for now. For VencoreWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorey.